Good morning, beautiful people. This is Friday Night Lights on Air, presented by the students of the game, and class begins now. Oh, here we are. I'm your host, Gentry, Neese, and this is the co-host of the year, Jett Wilson. Jett, how are you feeling on this beautiful Saturday morning?
I'm feeling great, man. Super pumped for what we got in store for this episode.
Well, real quick, because we're super excited about this episode, because I know you guys noticed a third chair in here. This is the first time we have a special guest. We just announced it on our Instagram, and so we're going to get right into it. I don't want to waste any time, but if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to like and subscribe. And you can listen to us not only on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Jett, Franklin is coming off a dominating 38-7 win against Summit at home. And to help it break us down, Jett, we have a special guest. Now, to intro our special guest, I'm going to give a little bit of a bio, okay? He is a grad of Franklin High School from 2008, where he was a four-time letterman in football, in wrestling, and in track and field. That's an athlete right there. He then went on to go play at the University of UT Chattanooga. Then he transferred over to Cumberland, I believe. He transferred over before transferring was cool, right? Where he was the second team all
It wasn't for the NIL.
It wasn't, must not have been, it couldn't have been. Okay, and then finally, he was the assistant coach on the 2022 girls inaugural flag football team, and the son of the greatest early education teacher to ever walk the face of the planet. Yep. Gather around, children, and ye shall hear the Friday Night Light tale of Coach Tucker Cathey. Yeah, baby. Come on now. All day. Absolutely. Here we go.
Let's go. Squeeze in here, man.
Squeeze in. We're nice now. All right.
Come on.
Coach, we're going to break down the game. How are you feeling on this beautiful victory Saturday?
Oh, man. It doesn't get much better than a Franklin team that's 4-2 right now.
You're not bad.
It's been a while, but, the boys, it's been good. It's been good.
Well, they say winning cures everything. The food tastes better.
That's right.
The drinks flow stronger. So we're excited on this Victory Monday. Victory Saturday. Let's get right into the game. I want to talk about, Tuck, the first drive. The offense goes 3 and out, and we're forced to punt the ball. But then Dr. Defense on the first play on defense. His defense bows up, forces a fumble. We get the ball in easily scoring territory, and we end up going on third. It's about third down, and y'all end up calling a nice swing pass out to Sean Gaka. You get it out there, high percentage throw. Receivers make blocks, and Sean Gaka gets in the box. Talk to us about how, after going 3 and out, Dr. Defense forcing that fumble, and then y'all getting in scoring position on that swing pass.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have one more play to kind of talk. The crazy week, Tuesday we had the weather, so we practiced inside. So, it's like a glorified walkthrough, not a lot of room, so it's tough. And then the game gets moved to Thursday, so Wednesday kind of turns into a glorified walkthrough, but we kind of made it a get after it practice, which was good. So that first drive we went 3 and out. They did some things different. So we were trying to make those adjustments, and then next thing you know, it's turnover. But boys did good, and the adjustments were made, and we ended up being able to go in and score. So it was good.
Jett, you as a defensive guy, when your defense forces a turnover, the offense scores a touchdown right after. Is that just super fulfilling as a defensive?
It almost just gives the defense more motivation to get out there and get the ball back to the offense when they're going to put it in the end zone. Coach Cathey, I got a question for you. What's it like, Dr. Defense back there at DC, defense has been playing strong all season. What's it like being on the offensive side of the ball, having that trust in the defense where you don't always have to score every single drive because you can trust the defense to get you the ball?
Coach Webb is, one of the greatest coaches of all time. One of my favorite coaches I've ever worked for. Glad I got the opportunity to grow up coaching under him early in my career. But just knowing him, and I've had him my whole time at Franklin.
Right.
You've always got Coach Webb and the defense going to show out. So it's good. I really enjoy having him, and he gets the boys going. So it's,
for sure,
it's always fun.
He gets us going. You're referring to us as the boys. He gets us going. Those are the boys he gets going. We play under him as well.
Oh yeah.
We play. I was just saying we played under him.
Do you call him Dr. Defense ever?
No.
Does he not like the nickname?
No, he's not a huge fan of it.
I hate to hear it.
We will say he may not be a fan, but he definitely deserves the nickname of Dr. Defense. He's earned it. He definitely earns it. Okay. Dr. Defense y'all punt the ball or kick the ball back. Dr. Defense gets another stop, and y'all end up coming out with a trick play to get in scoring position around midfield. And actually, now that we get Tucker Cathey, we get access to some plays. And so, welcome to our brand new segment where y'all are actually going to see the plays we're talking about while we have Tucker to break it down. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the film room.
I was hoping you were going to call that. Let's go.
It's producer Chuck. Can you cue up the first play? All right, so
what we got?
We got Tucker. We got a flea flicker here. Okay, so I want you to kind of and it'll loop and we can pause it, but we're gonna let it run through. Flea flicker, hand it off to Gaka, who turns around, pitches it back to the quarterback, who has all his trust in Lucas Young, and Lucas Young just makes a great play. Producer Chuck, can you pause it right here? So talk to us about this play here. Why call this play in this moment to take a shot?
Yeah, I mean, just gonna take a shot here. Let the big dog eat, as we like to say. It's actually terrible because the protection on this is not very good. Had an X stunt in the middle, so the front side backer's blitzing and then the nose guard loops, so he gets a little pressure there. But he just wanted to take the top off real quick and then let 3 make a play, which turned out to be good. And
yeah, Jett, what does that mean for Brewer to have a guy like Lucas he can just trust?
Oh, it means the world.
Uh-huh.
Lucas isn't the only one in the offense, but we call him 80-20 for a reason.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We didn't talk about bumping him up. I don't think we're going to do it this week.
But
be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout for
this
that.
guy makes these
85-15. Coach, producer Joe, can you pause it right here? What I love is look at these linebackers flood up right here as soon as they see Gaka have the ball. I don't know if you've had a running back as talented as Sean Gaka since the great Guy Lipscomb, right? and so to have him, all of them suck it up, and then safeties are flat-footed, linebackers are set up, putting us up in perfect scoring position, which actually just lead us into the second play review. Okay, so producer Chuck, can you cue up the second play? Pause it right here. Okay, so this play is a little end around to Luke Thompson. Okay, producer Chuck,
in
go
the
ahead and
backfield
run it
this
for
time
the viewers so they can see it and to kind of talk us through this little end around right here.
Yeah,
comes
we've been
Luke
kind of
Thompson
playing
on
with
the
this,
end around. He needs a block
for the last
out there.
Week and a half.
Gets a block, spin move, all the way down the sideline, into the end.
And you give the ball to 10.
Gaka in the backfield this
You
time.
let him play.
Yeah, exactly.
Coach calls him cheat code.
He is a
cheat code.
Comes Luke Thompson on the end around. He needs a block out there.
He's really come on and
gets a block, spin move, all the way down the sideline, into the end.
And producer Chuck, can you pause it right here? What I love about this play as well is, can you run it a little
Gaka
bit?
in the
a little
backfield
bit longer?
this
I'll
time.
take a pause. When we hand the ball off to Sean Gaka again, look where everybody's going. Pause right here. Look where everybody's flooding. They're following Sean. Again, using him as a decoy. I love this. And then if you press play,
Here comes Luke Thompson on the end around. He needs a block out there.
There goes that man. You know what I mean?
Gets a block, spin move, all the way down the sideline, into the end.
He can still strap it up.
Gaka in the backfield this time.
And you can see when he's on the field, he has the potential to score every single time.
Dude, but
Here comes Luke Thompson on the end around. He needs a block out there.
He's a speed guy. Watch him take that.
Gets a block, spin move.
The other guy's
all the way down the sideline, into the end.
Waltzes into the end zone.
Gaka in the backfield this time.
At the 10, so we're trying to come up with another play. And then all of a
Here
sudden,
comes Luke Thompson on the end around. He needs a block out there.
I love it.
That's the luxury I think this team has with playmakers like this.
Yeah.
You don't always have to.
Gets a block, spin move, all the way down the sideline, into.
All right, well, hey, clap it up for the film room. Thanks, Tucker. That was a great breakdown. Okay, moving on now. We're up. It's like 13 or 12 to nothing. Yeah, I think it's like 12 to nothing. Okay, so Dr. Defense gets another stop. We get the ball back, and y'all just go for the absolute jugular and throw probably a cheat code play in there, which is a post where Lucas, Mr. 80-20 himself, is one-on-one, and Brewer puts the most perfect. He drops back, throws a beautiful bucket pass. Leads them to where Lucas has space. He catches it, burns his guy, and runs right into the end zone. And while that's happening, we see you and Coach Adkins, sprinting downfield. I thought someone was clocking you guys for a 40. I thought you were guys at a combine. And y'all are so excited. Why on that play? I know at every touchdown you guys get excited, but why that play? Did y'all really scheme something up there? Or were y'all just like, here we go, 19-0, we're really pulling away?
Yeah, I think it's just, we get excited. He's overly... enthusiastic, which brings me out to being over enthusiastic. So I just think, that celebration just it's fun. You know, we went through our struggles, and now it's just time to like
Absolutely.
it's have fun. So
I wasn't sure. I was telling you, I wasn't sure if you were so excited because we were winning, or this game had big playoff implications, and y'all get some playoff bonus or something like that. I was like, Tucker must be thinking he's getting a new screened-in porch after that touchdown or something like that.
Nah, I wish, but
yeah, Jett, what did you think about having a play like that? Seeing the coaches get so excited when we've watched, I mean, just devastating games over the past couple years.
I think Coach Cathey summed it up perfectly. It's the culmination of everything that the team has gone through, these boys have gone through specifically. And it's not like these boys have been starting for the last 3 years. So it's not like some other kids were losing and then this team came in and started winning. This is the same team that had to go through all the struggle. And now they're getting to come out the other side of it. 4 wins against Williamson County teams this year, 3 in a row. Dominating. It's so awesome to be able to watch them have this success.
I love that. And then Summit comes back, and Kerry Collins and his offense come back and respond. And I know Kerry Collins was on our staff last year, so they come back and they make it 19-7. What's it like as a coach going against coaches you've worked with before and kind of have a familiarity with?
Yeah, it's different. You know, in this profession, it happens a lot. You know?
Right.
Coach Temple at Page, Coach T at Nolansville. So you go through it, you learn. You've coached with them, so you know their tendencies, their philosophies, and stuff like that. So, you know, with that staff at Summit, you know, it's a lot of buck heavy. So newer things to what we were doing last year, but you know, Coach Davis, Coach Collins did a really good job. They stressed Coach Webb out in halftime, but you know, he was all right. He got a Diet Coke and he figured it out. It was all good.
The fuel, I love that. Those DCs.
Walker Wells told me that Kerry Collins was putting him in a blender.
That's a direct quote that he told you after the game.
So the things that Summit was having success with on offense were RPOs, where Summit was such a run-heavy offense. They're keying on Walker Wells at the inside linebacker spot. He's stepping up for the run, and they're pulling the tight end right behind his back. So props to them for being able to.
And their quarterback came back, so
yes,
that was a big boost for them.
For sure,
absolutely.
That guy's tough. I know he's playing through some injuries.
And we've had that experience. I mean, think about it. Since Brewer was out one game against Page, and he's come back and thrown for 250 yards in 3 straight games with touchdowns of 3, 4, and 5 each game. So you guys know how it feels to get that starting quarterback back and the momentum you guys take up. You guys then come back and respond, and I believe you guys throw Luke Thompson a bubble. I mean, how awesome is that? And he just goes and houses another one. I mean, I caught maybe 50 bubbles when I played in college, and I averaged 4 yards a carry. And Luke Thompson's out here just housing bubbles, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what's it like to have so many weapons on offense? I know you coach the offensive line, but to have those other weapons where you can throw quick passes out there and still have big plays, not putting as much stress as these deep play actions on your offensive line. Is that a luxury that you feel?
Yeah, it's actually funny because I swear every time we pull it and throw it, it's like we blocked it perfect. You know, it's bust. You know, and then we hand it off. It's like, you know, get on the headset, like hand the ball off, and then you smacked. But you know, to throw it to 10, it's 10, 3, 5. It doesn't matter. Like there's just the boys are playing, and just let them get in space and make stuff happen.
Absolutely, and when you guys do run those play actions, that kind of helps set you up because your offensive line has really given Brewer time this year.
Absolutely.
And so and to let them all facilitate, and you can see it with the stats and success that they've had.
And even early in the year, it was 5. 2 of the 5 had never started a game, or 3 of the 5 never started a game. So them early on, it was a little rough with movements and a good defensive line with Centennial, FRA, and Page. But now I feel like they've settled in, and now we are giving him that time where he is able to sit in there and throw it.
I love that. We knew as soon as we were announcing your offensive linemen getting pancake pantry pancakes of the week, we're like, here's we go. This is what I'm talking about. I mean,
the O-line has been so impressive to me this year. I don't think Brewer's gotten sacked in the last couple games. I mean, they've been keeping him clean, which has been awesome. It's the key to everything.
It's the key. It starts up front and in the
nothing
trenches.
works without those guys up front.
Okay, so we go in. I think it's like 25-7 at half. At halftime, when you're up 25-7, are there adjustments made, Tuck, in there, or is it like, hey, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. Let's just focus on us, or is it like, hey, there are adjustments that still need to be made? Or are you still tweaking things at half?
Yeah, I mean, y'all know there's always something to be fixed, and there's always something to be talked about. So, just using that time to kind of refocus, and our thing we've been talking about is making it to the woods, making it to the playoffs and stuff like that, being perfect in those games. So that's our goal, is to get there and perform at our best later on in the season.
So is that something that at halftime you're reminding those boys? Because this is a team that's not used to being up by a couple touchdowns at halftime.
Yeah, it's different. It's great to be on the other side of it. It makes coaching at halftime a lot easier. But no, they do a great job. We talk about it on Sundays every week. It's we're one block away from busting one. We're one block away from really getting after it. So they've responded really well. They're awesome kids. I love coaching them. So we're always pushing them every day, and especially on half times, we're just making little adjustments. So.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I know those steaks that the quarterback club brings you on Sundays taste a little better. How do you take it? Are you medium rare guy?
Oh yeah,
Gotta be.
I think we got one more win, and then we get a steak.
Okay, all right, here we go. We'll look forward
Shout
to
out
that.
John Young.
Shout out John Young. Absolutely, big shout out. Okay, here we go. So we go into halftime, then we come out, okay, and we keep the pedal on the metal. We get to the goal line, and I see us go empty. And Jett and I's first thought, or is that what route to Gaka?
Yeah, it's a little whip route to Gaka.
But what happens here? Y'all ran it earlier in the game for a 2-point play, and then this time that defense kind of shades outside. Gaka, did you tell him this is like a read route? Because he now goes inside and he's wide open because everybody's expecting him to run that whip route. Or is that a call? Hey, you're slanting here, or does he have a read? Does he have some improvisation with him and Brewer on that?
Yeah, I think the play is Sean Do You.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's my playbook. Yeah.
So he's able to just play it, and him and Brewer are on the same page.
Sean Do You. I love that. Sean Do You.
And you could really see Summit was all in on covering that whip route. They had planned before, I think, from watching TV copy, the corner and the inside guy that was guarding Sean instantly switched. So they instantly thought Sean was going to go out, that Lucas was going to go in, and they totally fooled him. Sean was wide open in the back of the end zone.
So now we get up 31-7. Dr. Defense is still holding strong. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like they're all just a wall back there, and we get the ball back, and I noticed that we're running some plays to try to get Wills Jackson the ball. We were trying to get Wills Jackson the ball, and as we should, he's a tower, right? He's a great deep threat. He can really go up and get it. You got to use that body, use that speed. Y'all get close up to the red zone again, and y'all are at third down. And Jett and I Jett leans over, and he sees something, and he goes, I think Brewer just called this play. Brewer sees something, and it's kind of like you called like slant or bang eight post to Wills, where Brewer makes a great throw splitting two defenders. Is that the case? Did we see that right? Is that something Brewer saw, or is that something Coach saw and Brewer just kind of was agreeing on that touchdown to Wills, that final one?
It's just like Wills is the last one to come on, and once he starts going, it's going to be fun to watch our offense.
Yeah.
So getting him involved in the offense has been a big stressor the last couple weeks. But yeah, I think with the offensive line, we're down under the tent, and then Brewer and them are all under the bench. So we were able to see that, with this the deep post, and he made a great catch. I thought he dropped it at first, but no, he came up with it, and he makes those big plays when it matters. So it's been good to see that. But yeah, Brewer has all the ability to make those calls. And,
I love that.
He's like another coach on the field. 3 years starting. He's a it's really good for us to have someone like that. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Co Wilson. I know this is not the only Co Wilson. I know Dr. Defense used to call this guy coach on the field right on that defense. And so it's just poetic justice for to have Brewer be a coach on that offensive side. That really concludes it. We yanked the starters again. The Aflac trivia question is going to be a lot easier this week. We're not going to have to go back to 2020. We're just going to have to go back to last week and when we pulled the starters. Back-to-back games where we pulled the starters. When's the last time we did that on back-to-back games? I'm not sure. Super proud of the boys, though. They played great. It's so fun to watch them. Jett, what players specifically do you have to shout out after watching this game?
See, the players are making this segment a long. Guys on both sides of the ball. There's not a single position that doesn't deserve to get mentioned. So I'm going to run through some. First on defense, give me Thompson King.
Huge. Come on.
I mean, he's a guy.
He's a guy.
Huge interception, big tackles for loss. He was securing the edge on the outside on those buck plays. Great game by Thompson. Walker Wells and Tegan Lee on the inside. Walker's really leading that defense, middle linebacker, making sure everyone's on the right page. Tegan, huge fumble recovery, big hits all night long.
Absolutely.
Imposing that will.
Here we go.
Gets
Big eraser. He runs through people.
give me on the D-line. Give me Elmore and Dykstra.
The Secretary of Defense and J. Dyke. Yeah.
Making plays all night. Really standing strong on that defensive line. I saw Dykstra get banged up a little bit in the second half. Hope he's okay. DBs, Jay Little, Gaka, Luke Thompson. I wrote LT on my sheet there.
What is LT?
Luke Thompson.
Luke Thompson, LT. You like that nickname?
We're going to let it sit.
I like that one. And
let
someone
marinate.
else you mentioned, Jay Little, his Instagram handle, we heard Jay Liddy. That's the
Jay
nickname.
Jay
And
Liddy.
he plays like that. I mean, he was smacking tight ends. I mean, someone had a big tight end, twice the size of anybody else out there, and they try to throw a seam to him. Luke, and Jay Liddy came over and just goes up there, climbs the proverbial ladder, smacks him, and so he flies around.
I think that was a fourth down play too.
Huge play,
stop.
yes.
Dixon's out there too. They did a good job
Andy
this
Dixon,
week
yes.
in the run game, really filling their gaps in the run game. Not an easy thing to do for a DB, especially a corner.
Exactly.
Props to those guys. They're going to have a greater test in the pass game coming up next week. Turning to the offensive side of the ball. Brewer, 5 touchdowns, 258 yards. Efficient, in control of the offense. Really impressive to see the step he's taking going into senior year. Lucas Young, 4 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown.
Come on, what a line. Come on, it's beautiful.
Gaka, 5 touches, 77 yards, and a touchdown.
I mean, come on.
Wills, huge touchdown in the fourth quarter. Yes. Luke Thompson, 2 touchdowns. And give me the offensive line again, because I can say all of these names.
Come on,
and
name them
none
out.
of it happens
Name them out.
without the offensive line. Give me Sims, Durham Queen, Preston Hood, Cameron Higgins, and Isaac Wall. Coach,
come on, is that right?
No, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
These guys up front have been very impressive, especially the last couple of weeks. I'm excited to see how they continue to grow with this guy at the helm.
Absolutely.
And also, can't forget Jack Flint.
Jay Flint,
he's
talking about Jay Flint, yeah.
He's just the unspoken hero. You know,
I love
you saw
that.
him on the block with 10 getting out there on the reverse. The most coachable kid, the quiet leader that we need. Just, really taking advantage of getting in there and getting nasty. So it's been fun to watch him.
That's awesome.
I love that. We got any more shout outs for the players?
No, that's it.
Okay,
Shout out to the
here we go.
boys.
So, Coach, from your perspective, going in three wins in a row, 3 dominant wins, big game coming up against Brentwood. How do you, as a coach, prepare the team to carry that momentum into a game going into Brentwood?
Yeah, I think you just kind of ride the wave of, the successes and, remembering the struggles that we've had and being grateful for,
yes,
what we are now and, Coach Atkins and, some of the new staff members. It's been really good, So using this and, Brentwood is the game that everybody really remembers. So, to have them with the experience of winning these games and then now going into that game with the confidence of, being 2 straight weeks where, the starters don't play the second half. So that's going to be something that it's going to be really fun to do. And, we've been talking about it for a while, so they're excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to talk about this offensive line.
Absolutely.
Because they've really been impressing me this year. I think it's a group that we don't talk about enough.
I would completely agree.
They don't get enough attention. I know you got some seniors in there. You got a couple starters coming back. I want to hear about the leadership that this group provides. I know Durham Queen's a great leader. And I want to hear about the steps that this position group has taken to get to the point where they're at.
That's a great question.
Yeah. So, previously I was on the defensive side of the ball with the other staff and, making the transition back to offensive line was something that I was looking forward to doing. But, when you come back and you have Durham Queen, Sims and Preston, guys that have played and been in that position, it's great because, they're set the standard so high.
Right.
And we've talked about, what it's like every day to get in there and just the physical and the mental side of the offensive line. It's been really fun, and Isaac Wall's come along for us this year, and he's been really impressive. Cam Higgins, probably the most undersized center in the state, but he battles every day, and he's fun to coach. And our young guys, Noah, Simon, the Lucases, the Justin Ardens, all those it's fun to coach them, and our future is bright with that group. And so when you have a Sims and you have a Durham that can kind of lead them by example, and they're in the meeting room and they're being they're voicing their concerns and opinions, and talking through things. It's been really good. So
that's awesome.
So you mentioned a guy, we talk about Durham and Sims a lot, but I think someone who specifically you mentioned that we don't talk about enough, a guy like Preston Hood, P. Hood we hear they call him. What kind of an impact is it having a guy like Preston who we may not know his name as much, but he really matters in the offensive line and he makes a huge difference. What is it like to have those guys who just come in every day and work like that and perform each and every single game? A guy like Preston Hood, has that meant a lot to that senior leadership of that offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, going into this year, you probably wouldn't have thought he would have been on the offensive line, but what he brings every day is just a bad attitude.
I love that. I love it.
So we have a saying, it's just bite your mouthpiece and go play.
Ooh, I like that.
And he gets overly like,
So
it's like sometimes you gotta like calm him down because we run counter back to him a lot where he's the kick. So he'll just go and he's like, I call him the Wolverine because he's quiet, he's mean, he just sticks to himself, and it's fun to coach him. He's wild. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Awesome,
okay, that fires me up. The Wolverine, the bite your mouthpiece, and then the woods, get into the woods. We're going to start using this. We didn't know it. Yeah, exactly.
We're keeping those for sure.
Okay, all right. We've got some rapid fire questions for you. The first one is, Tuck, you played, we're a stud, right? What NFL, you know, on a segment we do is we do good comp, bad comp, or we comp one of these boys to an NFL player. Yeah. What is your comp for yourself, Tucker?
In college, I watched a lot of Michael Orr.
Okay.
Run a lot of outside zone stuff. So him on the backside of zones, I used to love watching him reach people.
Okay.
But I loved Kevin Y.
Titans hometown.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I used to be a ball boy, so
nice.
I used to, watch him stuff in practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Did some camps and stuff with him, so he was good to learn from. And that's probably it.
I love it. Would you say good comp on that?
Comps. I was going to go Trent Williams.
Oh, Trent Williams.
Well, see, I think we were about the same age, so
that just sounds like you're a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, Tuck, we do a lot of nicknames. You've got a lot of nicknames. What's your favorite player nickname out of all the players? Do you have a favorite player with a nickname? Is it the Wolverine?
It can be a coach nickname.
It can be a coach nickname too, like Dr. Defense. Don't run out.
No, I think the legacy nicknames are fun. Like the Domingos. We had Isaiah Domingo, and we have Aiden Bromingo, and then now we have David, so it's Trey Mingo.
That's great. That's good stuff.
I love that.
So that's always a good one. Wombat is another one. Alec Allen from a few years ago. I always like that one. God, there's so many.
Those are some good ones.
But those are probably my favorite.
What were some from our days? We had a lot. Like when we were playing, players are. I know. It was always Dr. Defense.
Dr. Defense.
Yeah. We always had. I'm trying to think of who we played with. We had Gok. We had a big Gok. I played with two Goks. Yeah. So Gok was always a trustworthy. You got one in mind?
No, that's a good question. Yeah. So you've coached a lot of different families that you've really seen come through Franklin. I think the Gokas are definitely one of the more prominent and more talented ones, if not the most. What's it like coaching Sean, the last one? It's your last Gaka. You can't look forward to. Well, at least we know we have a running back a couple years.
It's we were talking about this the other day. It's like they're all different, and it's like they all brought their own little taste of Franklin football, which has worked out. With Sean, it's been great because there is times where we don't block it right, and he can make one cut and make it good. Matt used to bounce everything but bring it back inside.
Yeah, the bruiser.
So just the difference, Nick or Sean used to take top off of everything.
Yeah.
Alex
used to take top off. Yeah.
Sean does
confusing.
too.
Sean does it. Yeah. I love that.
It's been fun coaching them and just having the different body types and players that we brought through them. So
yeah,
that's sweet.
I got one final question for you, then I'll let Jett see if he has any final questions. But as getting back on the offensive staff, you're close to the head man who calls the plays. Is there either a play that's not in the playbook that you've been begging to get in there or you would love to run, or a play that's in the playbook but you've yet to run so far that you're like, we're going to run that? Okay. All right, sorry. Okay, do the first one then. If there's a play that's not in the playbook that you were like, that's probably never going to get at it, but you were like, I love this play. Is it a wing T triple? You know what I mean? Something weird like that, like with the offensive lineman. Yeah.
Well, we go back to the Pops days of running the triple. I always joke with him. I said, we've got a guy that can do it.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really good. We think a lot of the same, and we're okay with trying something. And if it doesn't work, it's somebody will yell and be mad, but it don't matter. But it's been great with Coach Atkins coming on and bringing this new offense to Franklin where we can really go. So it's been really good. But yeah, there's stuff in there. Hey, we got him hosted.
We'll keep him hosted right here. Jett, any final questions before we get a pulse of the nation?
No, let's
for the
get
rest of
into
Williamson County. All right, we're gonna head in now that we've covered the Frank. Hey, give it up for Tucker. Yeah, come on now. Okay, great guys, absolutely. So now we're going to the rest of Williamson County, and Jett and Tuck, you can say it with us on 3. We're going into ready, 3, 2, 1. The lightning round.
We need to hit it.
Hit it again. All right, so lightning round, and then do lightning noise. Ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. The lightning round. Yeah. All right, feel free to interject in here. I'm just going to go right down the list to get a pulse of the nation. Brentwood 42 beat Overton 6. Probably not surprising there. We kind of expected that. Fairview gets shut out against Creekwood 0-23. Nolensville beats Centennial 10-6. Edges that. Any comments on that Nolensville Centennial game? That's a close one.
I talked to Coach T last night. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Had a lot of injuries against us last week, but it sounds like they got back. And as an offensive line coach, you went in the rain. That means you ran the ball pretty well.
That's right. I love that.
I'll interject too. I got to defend my pick.
Please do.
Centennial only 6 points there. I think the rain definitely put an impact on this game.
That's
they,
right.
They have a great passing attack. Mm-hmm. I think this might have a different outcome if it was normal weather, but don't want to take away from what Nolensville did.
Yeah.
So did they play on Friday night?
They did.
Yeah.
Well, see, interesting. If they only had producer Chuck's weather report, they would have done what we did and moved the game on to the Thursday. Let's go!
Hey, you got the Donnie Webb text message too.
Wait, what is this? Wait, tell us the story. What do you mean the Donnie Webb text?
So Thursday, I guess it was Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Coach Atkins came in. It was me, Coach Webb, and Coach Brinkman. And Coach Webb was like, "Yeah, I text Chuck." He goes, "I don't know if you still got my number or not."
Wow.
Yeah,
Producer Chuck is in with Dr. Defense.
Yeah. What? Yeah, okay, I love that. Producer Chuck, do we have the exact text? Do you remember this? Is this true? Can you confirm this?
I didn't see it.
No, okay, maybe you know.
Probably school Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we'll get that on there. All right, moving on. Page 62 shuts out Glencliff 0. Just a dominating performance. Ravenwood 37, Independent 0. Another dominating district for us performance. Spring Hill falls to Lawrence County 7-26. BGA comes back after losing to CPA and beats Hunters Lane 32-8. BA 6, Baylor 7, a tight one for those Chattanooga boys coming up and down Montego Mountain. To tell you,
Yeah, they didn't have Nelson McKnight. That was the cousin.
Cousin? Okay, here we go. All right, CPA 49 takes on Goodpasture 14, and finally FRA loses to East Nashville Magnet 14-43. That was a dominating performance there.
Oh, East Nash beat FRA?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here we go, crushed them, smacked them. All right, well that concludes the lightning round, and that concludes our first sit down with Tucker Cathey and everything. You guys have a great, beautiful rest of your Saturday morning. Cozy up in the rain. And then we'll be back for the preview episode to preview that Brentwood game, exciting game in the middle of the week. Hopefully you got our message on Instagram. They wouldn't let us go live, but hey, we're back. The show must go on, and we appreciate you, Tucker Cathey. Tucker Cathey, any final words for the send off?
No, I'm glad to be on. This is first time, so it's been
I love it.
Let's give it up one more time.
Friend of the program.
Oh yeah, big time watcher. Big time fan of these guys.
All right, we'll see you guys in the middle of the week. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great Saturday.